Self and Ranking Member Keating, thank you for convening this hearing on the critical role Turkey plays in geopolitics today. Turkey's strategic location and strong military give it the unique ability to put NATO's security mandate into action. Yet, I do have some concerns about Turkey's willingness to do so. As a flight surgeon during the War on Terror, I served on the front lines balancing dual roles as a soldier and a healer. I treated U.S. NATO soldiers' combat wounds in the middle of firefights. Learning firsthand that strength against our enemies and building trust with our allies are inseparable duties. Today we're here to discuss both standing strong and building bridges. From the war in Gaza to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Turkey plays an integral role in the current geopolitical landscape. But these actions of late are, as I said, very concerning. From seeking membership with BRICS countries who clearly have taken a position to destabilize the United States dollar to attempting to join the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, I do see some red flags. This explicit flirtation with U.S. adversaries undermines NATO's cohesion. The purchase of the Russian S-400 missile systems, dragging its feet on Sweden and Finland's admission to NATO, and continuing to fund terror groups doesn't go with what the goals, doesn't align with the goals of the United States or NATO. Turkey's conflicting loyalties are exemplified by the role it played in Russia's war on Ukraine. Turkey closed the Bosporus and the Dardanelles to Russia and supplied drones to Kyiv, but it also helped Russia evade sanctions. In Syria, Turkey's antagonism against our allied Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces jeopardizes the mission to defeat ISIS. This could lead to an ISIS resurgence. We all know what that would be. My hope for Turkey is that it will give up its support for Hamas, renew strong economic relationships with Israel, and together that these two countries can revitalize the Middle East. But this isn't going to happen if Turkey chooses to support terrorist proxies. Now, I will say that Turkey has a unique position in the world. Its history with Russia, its Ottoman heritage, and its relationship with the West. Sort of like threading a needle, if you will. And there seems to be in foreign policy, or at least my study of it in foreign affairs and history, the approach, I like to call it the put a foot in each bucket approach, or a foot in every bucket approach. And I get, for example, a nation like India that desires to be a third or fourth pole in the multipolar system of the world might do things that are both pro-American and are aligned with Russia or China at various points in time. I get that. However, we don't have a treaty like NATO with India. And that leaves us to ask hard questions. And I think, in being as fair as I possibly can with that unique history, that geopolitical position, or that location, the geographic location of the country and the challenges around it, I just want to ask first Dr. Schanzer, what external pressure would the United States need to put on Turkey for it to properly distance itself from Hamas?
Congressman Green, thank you for the question. Look, I don't know what the exact answer is, but I do know that Turkey does respond to sanctions pressure. We saw this during the first Trump administration. Pastor Brunson had been taken hostage by the Turkish government. The Trump administration put significant sanctions on Erdogan's inner circle, really began to target his closest allies in government, and the threats began to ratchet up, and then he released Pastor Brunson. I believe that the threat of sanctions on Turkey economic pressure as a place to start, but I think we need to consider other ways that we can put pressure on them as well, political, diplomatic, but giving them the leverage that they have right now in NATO doesn't help. And of course, there's no mechanism for releasing them from NATO.
Let me ask one other quick question, because I'm about to run out of time, and you guys can respond in writing. Can Erdogan run for re-election? Is he going to run for re-election if he can? And if he doesn't run for reelection, is it the Istanbul mayor? I mean, who's the heir apparent in Turkey? I'd love to get that in writing because I'm now out of time. Thank you.